All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this one by Black Conservative Perspective because this one right here caught my eye. That y'all know Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett out of Texas. She thinks she knows everything. She going on this long rant talking bad about Tom Homan, talking about he don't know where he's doing. She thinks she know more about mass deportations than he do. Talking about Donald Trump ain't putting good people around him. It's so funny that they come out and say this, and now she wants to know how much it's going to cost for Donald Trump to try to get rid of all these illegal aliens. It's so funny to me. Why didn't she ask Joe Biden how much it was going to cost us when he was sending all this money to Ukraine, and all of a sudden now they act like they care? Like, these people are just freaking delusional. And not only did she say this about Tom Homan, but Tom Homan clapped back on her and responded to the crap that she said about him. So like I said, let's hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That way you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. Shout out to everybody, especially the ones that always watches the entire video. It definitely helps me out a lot. So please let me know in the comment section that you did stay until the end. I would really appreciate it. But y'all would not believe this crap. I ain't even gonna cuss. I'm saying y'all won't believe this crap. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into it.
I don't know. I mean, it is crazy that this guy is about to walk into the White House for a second time. And again, I kept saying on the campaign trail, this guy doesn't know who our friends are. Now, I can tell you that he loves to pal around with Putin, and we know that Putin has decided that he wants to bring back the former coalition that they used to have, and that's why he went into Ukraine. I am here to say that we've got to have really good people around Trump. And right now, the people he's picking are not the best people, because somebody needs to explain to him in a very elementary way why we don't go after our friends, why we don't start wars. And honestly, that includes even tariff wars with our friends.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about ghetto.
She's delusional.
Jasmine Crockett, who went on a deranged and very ignorant rant against Trump border czar Tom Homan. Okay, Tom Homan has been making his rounds and explaining how he's going to conduct the mass deportations, which has caused fake concern among the Democrats and the mainstream liberal media as they pretend to care about the cost of mass deportation, which is something they really don't care about. And the reason why you know they don't actually care about cost is because they never care about cost when it comes to anything. Like, for example, Ukraine. They never ask, well, how much does it cost for us to send all this money to Ukraine to help them fight a war against Russia?
I just said that.
They never ask, well, are we spending too much money? How much does it cost when you talk about sending money to Israel? Right? They never ask about that. Or any type of pet project that Democrats want to fund. They never ask, well, how much is this going to cost? Okay, is this going to cost the taxpayers too much money? Okay, now all of a sudden, when it comes to the border security, national security, and the mass deportations that need to happen in this country, now all of a sudden they're concerned about cost. Well, how much is this going to cost?
One of the things I've heard him give a lot of interviews, and I know he understands the problem that they want to solve, but he doesn't seem to have a sense of the scope of what it's going to take, what it's going to cost. And that's a critical question.
Well, I actually had a meeting with Tom Homan the other day, along with a number of my colleagues, and we talked about this very issue. Look, it's already costing states like New York billions of dollars of taxpayer money to provide free housing, clothing, food, education, and health care to illegal immigrants. Then you have the situation where you have criminal aliens committing violent crimes, just as we saw a woman being burned alive on a subway by a man who was previously deported and then came back into the United States illegally. The fact is that what Tom Homan is going to do is start the process of deporting criminal aliens out of the United States.
That's exactly what he's going to do. I can't believe they sit on this show and act like they don't see this crap. Like, the thing is that the left, they just want to be opposite of whatever Donald Trump does. They just want to be able to do the total opposite, just so they can have like this argument against him. Of course, he want to get rid of these illegal aliens. Look what they doing to our people here. Look what they doing. So Donald Trump is trying to get rid of these people. Then you got the left that's like they trying to fight for these illegal aliens. Like, they don't care what they do to the American people. Like I said, they just want to be different just so they can have something to talk about against Donald Trump because they know for a fact if Joe Biden was doing the same thing Donald Trump doing right now, trying to protect the American people and send these illegal aliens back, they won't be saying anything. But since they don't like Donald Trump, they just got to be different. They just want to be able to say anything. Now they want to worry about how much it's going to cost President Trump to get rid of these illegal aliens. Why they didn't ask that same question when Joe Biden was selling our border wall, but until this Texas judge just told him he can no longer do that, and that as he's selling this stuff, pennies on a dollar, that it was going to cost us more to buy the wall back. Why didn't Jasmine Crockett ask about that? See, they don't care. They only care about Donald Trump and want to just say anything that's different from what he's doing, just so they can fit their own crazy, stupid, delusional narrative in it. That's what they want to do.
United States. And sanctuary states and cities like New York need to cooperate. This idea that you're going to violate federal immigration law, that you're going to use taxpayer money to provide all of these free things. By the way, while Kathy Hochul in New York is charging New Yorkers $2,500 just for the privilege of driving to work in Midtown Manhattan. It's a joke. This is the stuff that needs to stop. So, yes, there is a price tag. Yes, it's going to cost money. But the reality is we cannot continue to have this massive influx of illegal immigrants coming into the country.
Okay, and a part of conducting the mass deportations, they're going to need resources. We're going to need a place to keep the immigrants, right, to keep the illegals as we process their deportations. Texas has already volunteered to give up a bunch of land for the federal government to use. Okay, We're going to build out deportation facilities in the middle of Texas, and that is how the operation is going to be conducted, which apparently is a radical idea. Okay, let's actually hold the illegals. Okay, let's keep the illegals away from the general public. Ideally, you keep them out of the country, okay, aka remain in Mexico. You don't come into the country at all. As we process their asylum claims, okay, whatever reason they're trying to get into the country, yes, we should keep them away from the general population, okay? If they're in the country, they should not be living amongst the people, okay, if they're in the country. And if they're trying to get in the country, then they need to wait in another country before coming into our country. Again, common sense stuff, right? Very basic stuff.
They don't care about
Democrats
common
don't
sense.
agree with, okay? They think that this is a form of hate, bigotry, and cruelty, okay, to keep illegal immigrants away from the general population, or at the very least, that is my interpretation of Miss Jasmine Crockett, the ghetto congresswoman from Texas who loves illegal immigration. She supports open borders, wide open borders. And
that's what I'm saying. She supports it. That's why she's coming out acting like she really care about it when she really don't. Her, Kamala Harris, the rest of these Democrats. Where was Jasmine Crockett, like I just mentioned a few minutes ago, when Joe Biden was selling out his border wall? She didn't say anything about that. Now, one time did she get on camera and say, I don't know why Joe Biden is selling this border wall. It's gonna cost us, money to get it back. Because if you sell a border wall, the people you sold it to might not sell it back to you, for pennies on the dollar. They gonna want hundreds of dollars. Donald Trump just mentioned this the other day, that they gonna want more money for the wall back. But yet they will not talk about that. They just want to look over that and just attack Donald Trump on every little issue. Now you want to attack that he ain't putting the right people around him because he ain't picking who you want him to pick. It's like, get out of here. Why haven't you attacked Joe Biden? He was a failed president for these 4 years, the worst president ever. Now, one time did Jasmine Crockett come out and say anything bad about Joe Biden? Nothing. Didn't say anything bad about Kamala Harris. It's like, come on, man.
Is upset by some of the proposals that are coming from the Republicans in regards to how to conduct the mass deportations. And she's accusing Trump border czar Tom Homan of being ignorant of jails and prisons, right? The guy that has been in law enforcement his whole life apparently is ignorant, while this woman, who, again, I'm not entirely sure what she did before she came to Congress. I guess she was a lawyer or something. But anyways, she's basically accusing Tom Homan of knowing less about immigration,
That's
or
ridiculous.
illegal immigration than she does. Take a look.
Joining us now is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, Democrat from Texas and member of the Oversight and Agricultural Committees. All right, Congresswoman, when you hear those remarks, what are your initial thoughts?
Again, we have someone who doesn't know what he's doing. And, this idea of, oh, you're illegal and then you go out and have a child. It's not quite that simple, especially when you have people that are doing things like seeking asylum and people that are saying, listen, I'm just trying to make sure that I can live a better life here in the United States. And I want to do everything that I can to become an American citizen or at least get some sort of legal status. And you have, Trump that goes out there, him and his minions, and they say things like, you know what, we're only going to get rid of the bad ones, right? And so people sit there and they're like, wait a minute, you're going to come to my job where I'm working and I may be paying into taxes or whatever, or my kids are at school. I think that there's going to be a rude awakening really on all sides.
There's also, to me, the idea that vulnerable women without access to health care or birth control may or may not be choosing whether or not they are conceiving a child. But I'll leave that there. Yeah. Homan also said family detention centers could play a role in deportation efforts. And he added that those facilities would not be jails, but...
It'd be so funny to hear these people talk like they really know what they talking about. It's like she do not know what she's talking about. Tom Homan knows exactly what he's doing. He's been in law enforcement. How you going to tell him what he know or what he don't know? You know why you saying that, Jasmine Crockett? Because you don't like Donald Trump, and you're not going to like anybody that's around him. Anybody that supports Donald Trump, y'all got a problem with. If Tom Homan was on Joe Biden's side, you wouldn't be saying crap about him. And he could be saying the same thing he's going to do right now. And if he was alongside Joe Biden, none of y'all Democrats would be saying anything about Tom Homan. But since he's with Donald Trump, y'all going to criticize every little thing he say, every little thing he do. Y'all gonna try to find some type of way to just twist it to fit y'all freaking narrative in it. This is what y'all do every day. Y'all have nothing else to talk about. I'm so glad y'all freaking lost. I am so glad y'all lost. And January 20th can't get here any faster because I can't wait.
Open air campuses designed for families. I'm not sure access to fresh air was a lot of people's issue with that policy, but I'm wondering how plausible that sounds to you.
I'm curious to know if he's ever been to a jail or a prison.
He's been in law.
The reality is that these are nothing more than detention camps that look a lot like jails and prisons. I mean, obviously, there's what they call the yard when you go to a prison, and that is an open air facility. But, there's always been a lack of humanity when it comes to immigration and this administration. If people remember the separation before, they may remember that, but they may not remember how much money it cost the United States when we were sued about the fact that these families were separated.
And deportations themselves are really expensive prospects.
Right. We know, Texas is like, hey, we will go ahead and give you the land to do what you want to do. But we know that there takes officers, right? So we're talking about needing to hire more officers to execute this. We are talking about you can't just throw people into facilities. You've got to make sure that you feed them, got to make sure that you're keeping them healthy.
Right, and those needs expand if you're talking about children and families as well.
Exactly. So it's going to cost us monetarily up front, but it's also going to cost us because we know, again, that so many of these people are actually contributing to our economy.
Well, I tell you what, then, if you saying it's going to cost us money, won't you blame Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for leaving them borders open and for all these illegal aliens to come through here these last 4 years, and it wouldn't have cost us so much money, and Donald Trump wouldn't be having to put so much money into trying to get rid of these people. How about that? Won't you blame Joe Biden for that, Jasmine Crockett? It's his fault that he opened the border and let all of these people flood in here. Because if he wouldn't have did that, it wouldn't be costing a lot of money to try to send them back to where they came from. But y'all not going to do that. You just want to blame Donald Trump. This is what the American people voted for. They voted for because they want to get rid of these people. The reason why they voted for Trump, he said he's going to get rid of them. That's what everybody voted for. So now y'all be trying to run in here and just say anything. Y'all just run on these shows and just say anything just to criticize this man. And you know he's doing right. But you still got to find some type of way to just disagree with him.
Yeah, see, now you heard that. Apparently, ghetto Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett believes that she is more knowledgeable on illegal immigration than Tom Homan.
And
right?
This
is what she believes, apparently. Okay, and Tom Homan has responded to the ghetto Congresswoman and basically said that he has forgotten more about illegal immigration than what she currently knows about this issue, law enforcement, basically anything dealing with this issue. Take a look.
Absolutely right. It's frustrating because anytime you say something, it seems the left just completely twists it, runs with it. I want to play you a video of Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett talking about your capabilities on MSNBC this weekend.
Again, we have someone who doesn't know what he's doing. And, you know, this idea of, oh, you know, you're illegal and then you go out and have a child. It's not quite that simple, especially when you have people that are doing things like seeking asylum and people that are saying, listen, I'm just trying to make sure that I can live a better life. And you have, you know, Trump that goes out there, him and his minions, and they say things like, you know what, we're only going to get rid of the bad ones, right? And so people sit there and they're like, wait a minute, you're going to come to my job where I'm working and I may be paying into taxes or whatever, or my kids are at school. You know, I think that there's going to be a rude awakening really on all sides.
Doesn't know what he's doing. Tom, just to go through some of your background,
crazy,
a Border Patrol
bro.
agent, an investigator, a special agent, supervisor, special agent, assistant director of investigations. I mean, the list goes on and on. You are so beyond qualified. What's your response to that?
Well, look, I forgot more about this issue than she'll ever know. I mean, for God's sakes, I've been doing it for 34 years. But look, there has been a rude awakening. That rude awakening was in November at the election. There was a rude awakening that American people are sick of an open border. American people are sick of illegal alien crime in this country. I mean, how many young women had to be raped and murdered and burned alive? How many MS-13 and Tren de Guaya had to be in our major cities committing crimes against U.S. citizens? How many angel moms and dads do we have to have in this country that lost their children at the hands of someone that wasn't supposed to be here, and they buried their children? You want to talk about family separation. And as far as family detention, all of a sudden the discussion goes from family detention to family separation. Family detention is the complete opposite of family separation.
Exactly.
So look, I don't know who this lady is. Apparently she's not real smart. But
you heard what Tom Holmes said. He said, look, I don't know who this lady is, and apparently she's not real smart because she tried to get on this camera and act like she know more than this man. She don't even know Tom Homan. Tyler, do he even know what the inside of a jail cell look like? Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You just talking because he's on the side with Donald Trump and he's Donald Trump's border czar. That's the only reason you're saying anything about him. Like, give me a break.
Look, I made this clear. I don't care what they say about Tom Homan because, you know, I've done this job for a long time. I think the president got a mandate in November. He called me to help me fix the border. And look, under the Trump administration, we had the most secure border in my lifetime. We're going to get that secure border again because secure border saves lives, and no one can argue that. Under the Biden administration, we got a historic number of aliens have died across this border, nearly 4,000. An historic number of Americans, over 250,000, died from fentanyl comes across that border. Their policies are killing Americans at record numbers. They're killing aliens at record numbers. President Trump is going to secure this border and save lives, just not of Americans, but of aliens too. A secure border saves lives. That's exactly what we're going to do starting day one.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. It really blows my mind that Democrats think that it is a good idea to continue to take a side on the issue of illegal immigration that the American people are against, right? I mean, the American people voted for mass deportations.
They did.
They voted for these so-called detention camps, okay? Whatever you want to call it, I don't care what you call it, okay? It needs to happen, right? We need to have the illegal immigrants round up and removed from the general population and processed, okay? So that...
I mean, that's exactly right. Salute to Black Conservatives Perspective. Y'all please do me a favor, man. Go subscribe to his channel. Let him know in the comment section that I sent you. Like I said, great content creator. He keeps up to date with everything that's going on. I really appreciate everything he do. Stuff like that. So y'all please go subscribe to his channel, Black Conservative Perspective. I mean, he's great, man. He's very great, very good at what he does. So please go over there, show that man some support. Let him know in the comment section that the real Adogg sent you. I definitely had to check this out because when I seen it, I'm like, oh, here we go. Here goes somebody else attacking Tom Homan. We already know why, because he's Donald Trump's border czar, and they just got to find some type of way to disagree with him. This is what they do. They're going to continue to keep doing all of this. So, and I ain't seen none of these people, like I mentioned 3 times already, I ain't seen none of these people go after Joe Biden for selling that border wall for pennies on the dollar, and which is going to cost us more money to try to buy it back if we wanted to. They ain't going to talk about that. But they want to talk about, oh, how much money you did? You know it's going to cost a lot of money with Donald Trump trying to get, send these illegal aliens back. It's going to cost us money. But they didn't say anything about Joe Biden sending all our money to other countries. They didn't say anything about that. So they just ignore everything Joe Biden do that's costing us money, but want to attack Donald Trump and Tom Homan on every little thing. And that right there is what pisses me off. That's the reason they lost. Like, they just can't be real with themselves. They just can't come out and say, well, you know what? I support what Donald Trump is doing. They just can't say it. They just got to be different. They just got to say something different to fit their own narrative, to make it seem like they still hate this man. It's just ridiculous to me. So like I said, thank you all for watching. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.